The summer movie season is here. Hit it. Okay, to start this review, I'm going to give micro reviews of each of the movies that led up to this. Iron Man, back in 2008. This was a fun and pleasant surprise. I even dug the final battle that some people thought was a bit of a letdown. The Incredible Hulk came later, a couple months later that same summer. Solid action, and the film just smashed the crap out of that Ang Lee version. 2 years later, Iron Man 2 was kind of meh for me. Not a bad movie, I just found it very unengaging. A year later, Thor was the biggest surprise. Not sure how they pulled it off, but they did. Awesome. And Captain America, again, not a bad movie, but I just couldn't get into it too much. So with that said, all of that led up to this. The Avengers, and does it live up to the hype? Yes, it does, and it did things that I really didn't think it would do. Okay, so for the plot. S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing their thing, Loki shows up, and he's really not messing around this time. So in order for S.H.I.E.L.D. to go against him, they recruit everyone: Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. Now, of course, you're not going to get into that instant clash. Like, the movie starts off with a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D. development, maybe a little too much, if anything. But once your main heroes show up, you definitely get more into it, and, you know, they're not going to just head right into battle. Like, these guys need to get to know each other a little more. They need to learn how to interact, and that's the movie's biggest strength, of course. Even before they're all fighting with or against each other, them just all being in the same room, you're just like, wow. Finally, four years we've been waiting for this. And just the banter, Joss Whedon, who wrote the script, of course, does not disappoint. Everybody has great one-liners. While being a straight-up action film, it also has a lot of comedy, and it balances wonderfully. My favorite line had to come from Thor when they were explaining what Loki did. Just before he got there, like, that had me dying. And this movie is really story-driven, or just character-driven is like a better way of saying it. Like, and I like the subtlety with all the characters, just like the small moments between them. And you got bits of their personalities, and you see how they've developed since your last film, and then you see them develop even more here, especially Iron Man as a person, especially Tony Stark as a person. And the performances were definitely top-notch. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. I actually like Chris Evans more in this than I did in Captain America. I even like Captain America more as a character in this. Chris Hemsworth was great as Thor, of course, that goes without saying. Jeremy Renner was awesome as Hawkeye. Some people criticized his form and like how he held the bow, but I don't know anything about archery, so I really didn't even notice. I'm psyched for the Bourne Legacy, dude. Keep doing your thing. Scarlett Johansson was fantastic as the Black Widow. It's not a boys' club. She totally holds her own. Sam Jackson was great, and I like that he was playing Nick Fury for the most part and not just himself. Mark Ruffalo is the new Hulk. Sorry, Ed Norton, I like you, but Ruffalo did it better. And then, of course, Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Dude was pissed. He had a plan, and he knew how to carry out. And, of course, you have even more side characters. Can't forget about Clark Gregg as Agent Coulson. Dude as good as ever, and they even give him a bit more depth in this one. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. Kudos on keeping so many of the side characters from like the individual movies. Like, it was nice seeing them and that they weren't just forgotten about. I honestly was not expecting that to that extent. Now, the biggest surprise for me was what I really liked was the 3D. Like, I just went in like a douche going, oh, it's converted. They just made it the 3D for the cash grab, and well, even if that's true, they did a good job of it throughout the entire movie. 3D was apparent, and that technology is really growing on me. Like, between the animated Pirates movie I saw last week and this, like, I'm loving the 3D. And this was a fun ride. Like, this was like my first midnight premiere. Went with some friends as like a last hurrah for the semester. Ran into some more friends here. Took some pictures because like some of them were like really dressed up in costumes and they really looked good in them. That sounded weird. Okay. Avengers is something you should definitely see in theaters. I would like to go and call it a must-see, but I can't help but think that if you haven't really been into any of the previous Marvel films, I don't really see this one changing your mind. And don't try not to give me too much hate for saying that. I like the movie a lot, but I'm just keeping that in mind. One nitpick, one. I just have to have this one. I love Thor, but please stop having him do this. And when he flies, it looks really silly. Come on. But back to the positives. Joss, the best I can say about your direction is just the tone of the movie. Like, I honestly felt like I was watching a comic play out. Each director had their own flair, but you brought it all together and just made it work. Even if I wasn't always there with you in the beginning of all the S.H.I.E.L.D. developments, I was a little, but you definitely made it work the further it went along, and just thank you. And people seeing this movie, make sure you stay for the credits. I mean, after 4 years, I don't know why some people still don't get this. Like, every film has done something after the credits. I don't know why people are like just still getting up. But whatever. And on a final note, to make this review special, I'm going to show some footage of my friends who I saw it with reviewing it. And then I really wish I took more pictures and gotten more footage, but everyone was just too wrapped up in talking about the movie just like afterwards. I didn't even think to just whip out my camera and record some stuff. It was kind of just like, hey, it's you. I like this part, I like this part, I like this part, I like this part. It was just, whew. And yeah, here's some extra footage.
Hey.
I'm here. I waited because here it's like better lit.
No, I don't have anything. Great character development, great storyline. You must see this at least 6 times, or else you shall die a miserable and painful death.
Thank you, Bill. Alan.
Yeah.
Quick review.
The movie was really good. Go out and see it. It's definitely worth the wait. I believe it was 6 years, but it was definitely worth it. Has all the movies in one. Definitely something you would want to go and see with your family, if not by yourself.
And your 4 years.
I mean, what really made that movie great was the interaction between all the characters and just how they developed the old story and then the new story, the Ultimates, into it, and then how they brought it in for everyone who's never seen it before. That was just fantastic composition.
Thank you. And for those of you who are watching me since my Contagion review, here's that dirty elevator. Bringing it full circle.
And show match.
And if you like this review and you would like to see more, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Summer 2012, let's go. Balls in your court, Batman.